was a special challenge to beautiful women married to prominent, rich, successful men. I could never do him justice. Let him tell you in his own words.
If I may say so myself, I am the greatest seducer of other men's wives I've ever met. I say this not boastfully, but as a matter of record. The staggering figures speak for themselves. For those men interested in playing this highly satisfying but dangerous game, I urge you to take out pen and paper and take notes. I am going to explain my method. In defense, a married woman may try to do likewise, but it would do her very little good if she is the chosen victim. My method has never failed. Now then, there are 3 vital characteristics needed. They are patience, more patience, and still more patience. For those men who cannot wait and persist, I urge you to take up bicycling, rowing, perhaps seducing isn't for you. Now, in order to seduce a man's wife, you must, I repeat, must, keep as far away from her as possible. Pay her practically no attention at all. Ignore her, if you must. We will get to her through the husband. You are about to witness a practical demonstration, or as it happens, I am madly and deeply in love this week. My heart pounds with excitement, knowing that she will pass through this garden in a few moments with her husband. Every fiber of my being tells me to hold her and embrace her with all the passion in my heart. But observe how a master works. I should be cool, almost to the point of freezing. My heart of hearts and fast approaches.
Ha-ha! Peter Simeonich! Fancy meeting you here.
Dear Nicholas, good to see you again. You're looking very well. Notice how I'm not looking at her.
And you, big devil, you're always looking well. Excuse me, have you met my wife, Irina? Oh, of course you have. You sat next to her at dinner at the Vesnovs. Irina, I must warn you that he is a scoundrel, a notorious bachelor, and an exceptional swordsman, and that's the best I can say for you, Peter.
Nicky, you exaggerate. Madame, good to see you again.
Well, we were just taking a stroll through the gardens, and if you're not busy, would you care to walk with us?
Well, that's very kind of you, Nicholas, but as a matter of fact, I'm riveted to this spot. You see, a new romance has just entered my life, and my legs are like pillars of granite. Until she is out of my sight, I will be incapable of movement. Too much, do you think? As I said, patience.
Fantastic! You never cease to amaze me. Pretty, I suppose.
Suppose magnificent, suppose glorious, and you will suppose correctly.
Any, complications?
As usual, husband. But I'm afraid my cause is hopeless.
Oh, nonsense. I'm placing my money on you, Peter. And you know I never bet unless I'm sure of winning. And we're off, then. Good hunting to you, my boy. Good hunting.
Madame? Beautifully done, don't you think? I am sometimes awed by a true professional. Did you notice our eyes barely met? We exchanged hardly a word, and yet she knows so much of me already. A, I'm a popular bachelor. B, a man in love, always titillating to romantic women. C, a gifted sportsman, a nice contrast to a sedentary husband. And D, this is most important, a dangerous man with the ladies. Quite frankly, she's probably disgusted with me by now. A, because I'm a braggart and a scoundrel. B, because I'm shamelessly frank to my intentions. And C, she thinks she's the one I'm not interested in. Forgive me if I'm slightly overcome by my own deviousness. By the way, are you getting all this down? It does get rather tricky from here on in. Now then, next step, hypnosis. Not hypnosis with your eyes, but with the poison of your tongue. Much like a venomous snake moving in for the kill. And the best channel is the husband himself. Witness as I accidentally bump into him one day at the club.
Oh, Peter, you're looking glum. I take it your pursuit isn't going very well, huh?
Isn't that obvious? I'm doomed, Nicky. I haven't seen her since I last met you and your dear wife. I sleep little and eat less. and I've taken all my shirt collars in a half inch. Ah, Nicky. Why do I waste my valuable youth chasing women I could never truly call my own? How I envy you.
Me? What is there about me that you envy?
Why, your marriage, of course. A charming woman, your wife, let me tell you.
Really? What is there about her that fascinates you so?
Her grace, her charm, everything. But mainly it's the way she looks at you. Oh, if only I had a woman that could look at me like that, with such loving, adoring eyes. I'm sure it must send quivers through your body.
Quivers? No, not really.
A tingle, perhaps? Don't tell me you don't tingle when she looks at you.
Of course. By all means. I tingle all the time.
She's an ideal woman, Nicky. Believe that from a lonely bachelor. And be glad fate gave you a woman like that.
Oh, and perhaps fate will be as kind to you too.
Yes, well, that's what I'm counting on. Oh, good heavens. I'm late for my doctor's appointment.
What is he treating me for?
Melancholia. Oh, and please say hello to your extraordinary wife, but I urge you not to repeat our conversation. It's might embarrass her fragile sensitivities. Oh, where is the woman for me? I know where. The question is, how soon will she be mine? There's still work to be done, but that falls to my age and accomplice. Oh, by the way, I saw Peter Semyonich today.
Oh, by the way, I saw Peter Semyonich today.
Who?
Peter Semyonich. The bachelor, that attractive young fellow. We met him in the gardens last week, you remember?
I remember what a loathsome man he is.
Oh, you wouldn't think so, but he had to say about you.
And nothing that Bragg had to say would interest me.
Oh, he spoke most enthusiastically about you. He was enraptured by your grace, your quiet charm. He felt that you were capable of loving a man in some extraordinary way. He certainly had a lot to say about you. He went on and on, he did. Good night, dear.
What else? What else did he have to say about me?
Who, Peter?
Whatever the loathsome man's name is. What else did Peter Semyonich have to say about me?
Oh, that was more or less it, what I told you.
But you said he went on and on.
He did.
But you stopped. If he went on and on, go on and on, or let's just go to bed.
Well, he said how much he envied me and how much he wished someone would look at him the way you look at me.
How does he know how I look at you?
That day in the gardens. Yes, he must have been looking at you when you were looking at me because it sent a tingle all over my body.
The way I look at you.
Exactly, my precious.
But you were looking at him, so you couldn't have seen how I was looking at you. And as a matter of fact, I was looking at the flowers because he made me nervous the way he kept avoiding looking at me. You must have tingled for some other reason.
Oh, it's getting rather confusing. The point is, he found you fascinating, and I thought this would please you.
Well, it doesn't. And in the future, I'd rather you not tell me such stories. Are you planning to see him again soon?
Tomorrow for lunch.
Well, don't discuss me over lunch. Tell him that. And you can tell me what he said at dinner. Good night, honey.
Good night, Peter.
Good night, my love. I am spellbound by my own powers. I succeeded in not only piquing her interest, but causing her heart to flutter at the mention of my name. The same man that she called lonesome not 2 minutes ago. All this was accomplished, mind you, while I was at home taking a pine-scented bath. Luncheon the next day was not only nourishing, but productive as well. By the way, old man, I saw Miroslav yesterday. The artist, it seems as though he's been commissioned by some wealthy prince to paint the head of a typical Russian beauty. He asked me to look out for a model for him, and I told him I knew the perfect woman. But I wouldn't dare to ask myself. What about asking your wife?
Asking my wife what?
To be the model. What a lovely head of hers. It'd be a damn shame for such an exquisite face to miss the chance to be immortalized for all the world.
Really? I see what you mean.
Good then. Please talk to her.
Good idea. Let's go through with it.
The greatest seducer, perhaps? Watch how the wheels are turned around. He said that he was going to ask her, and he does.
Well, I said I'll discuss it with you, so what do you think?
I think it's nonsense. Did he actually say typical Russian beauty?
Precisely, and that it'd be a damn shame if that exquisite face missed the chance to be immortalized for all the world.
He gets carried away by his own voice. Those exact words. You didn't leave anything out?
Oh, yes. That lovely face. I left out that lovely face. He said that a number of times, I think.
He does go on, doesn't he? How many times? Once, twice, what?
Let me think. It's hard to remember.
Well, it's not important, Nikki. But in the future, I do wish you'd write these things down.
Have you seen me near her? Have you seen me speak to her? Has there been any correspondence between us? No, my dear pupils. And yet she hangs on to every word uttered by her poor husband. Awesome, isn't it? We apply this treatment from 2 to 3 times a week. Her resistance is weak, and weak.
Well, his mind is elsewhere, if you ask me, on some other woman from the looks of it.
What woman? Has he mentioned any woman in particular?
Oh, no, he's too discreet for that, and he'll protect a good name at any cost. Instead, he talks of you all day. Poor fool. I'm beginning to feel sorry for him.
Well, it's none of our concern, Nikki. Did you ask him for dinner tomorrow?
He's busy.
The next day, then.
Busy?
Well, next week, next month, when? Doesn't the man ever eat?
Well, he says he's working on a very important project, and it'll be months before he can see us. He did say, though, with patience and persistence, good things would come to him. And, oh, by the way, he thinks you want to go on stage.
Me? On the stage? Why, in heaven's name?
Well, just a moment. I don't want to misquote him.
Take your time, Nikki. It's very important that you get this as accurately as possible.
Oh, yes. With such an attractive appearance, intelligence, and sensitivity, it's a sin for her just to be an ordinary
Dear,
housewife.
he said that.
And that ordinary demands don't exist for just some women.
Nikki, please.
Natures
I
like that
don't
should not
hear
be
you.
bound by time and space.
Please,
And
I
then he
implore
said,
you.
If I wasn't busy, I'd take her away from you.
He said that.
Yes, right there.
And what did you say to him then? Nikki, it's very important that I know exactly what you said to him then.
Well, I said, take her then. I'm not going to fight a duel over her.
Nikki, don't ever discuss me with him again. And I never want you to bring up my name with him, ever.
Oh, but I don't, my love. He's the one who's actually bringing up the subject. He shouted at me. She's an exceptional creature. Strong, seeking a way out. And if I were to ever have place in a novel, the passionate angel, I'd call it. The man is weird. Definitely weird.
He's delivering my love letters, sealing them with kisses, and calls me weird? So next, what do we have so far? The poor woman is definitely consumed with a passion to meet me. She is sure I am the one who truly understands her. Her yawning, disinterested husband transmits my remarks, but it's my voice that she hears. My words that sing in her heart. The sweet poison is doing its work. I am relentless. There is no room for mercy in the seducing business. Observe how deftly the final stroke is administered. For the faint-hearted, I urge you, look away.
No, Nikki, not another word from him. Nothing.
But exactly. That's what he said, to tell you nothing, because he knew with a woman with her sweet and sympathetic nature, you would hate to hear someone else's distress.
He's in distress.
Worse, he's gloomy, morose, morbid in the depths of despair.
But why? What's wrong? What's the matter with him?
Loneliness. He says he has no true friends, no relatives, no one who understands him.
But doesn't he know how much we perfectly understand him, commune with him daily, appreciate him, and yearn to be with him? You and I.
Oh, I tried to make that clear. And I urged him to come home and have dinner with me, but he says he's busy. And he's so depressed he can't even stay at home. He just paces in the public
carriage fast enough for her to be in my arms. She ran the whole way. Observe. Oh, and you won't mind if I ask you to busy yourselves with your programs and such. The next few moments are private, and after all, I am a gentleman. My sweet, my angel. At last I can speak the words that I've longed.
No, not a word, not a sound, not a tune hurts in my heart. For weeks now, I've been in torment. You've used my husband as a clever and devious device to arouse passions in me, which, I freely admit, have been lying dormant these past 7 years. Whether you're sincere or not, you brought out longings and desires I never knew were possible. You've appealed to my vanity, and I succumbed. You stirred thoughts of untold pleasure, and I weakened. You've attacked my vulnerability, and I surrender. I'm here for your sin knowledge, if you want me. Let me have this. I love my husband dearly. He's not a passionate man, nor even remotely romantic. Our life together reaches near the heights of ecstasy, or the depths of anguish. In accepting this condition, and the full measure of his devoted love, I have been happy. I come to you now with the knowledge that once you take me in your arms, my life with my husband will be over. I'm too weak, too selfish to make the choice. I rely on your strength of character. Whichever one you choose will make me eternally grateful and miserable. If you want me, open your arms, and I will come to you. But if you love me, turn, and I will never see you or speak to you again. Joyce, my dearest, sweetest love of my life, is yours. I await your decision. God bless you, Peterson. I wish I could bring you the happiness that you just brought me.
Peter Semyon, the former seducer of other men's wives, from that day on turned his attention to single, unmarried women only. Until one day the perfect girl came along, and our confirmed bachelor married at last. He is today a completely happy man, except possibly on those occasions when some dashing young officer tells him how attractive he finds his love.